Whoa. Hello. I am not yapping. I am now yapping as a PNG tuber. Anyways, hi, hello, hi, welcome, hi. It's Voices of the Void again. It is time to Voices of the Void. As per usual, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But at this point, I know what I shall do. I shall clean my base, because it's still in a dirty mess. Anyway, hi, good morning, hello, hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How are we doing today? What have we been up to lately? Because I recently woke up, and now here I am playing Voices of the Void. It's fun. And I'm lagging again. Oh no, my tuber is lagging. I just every time when I play Voices of the Void, I'll always see that my PNG tuber is actually taking a hit and lagging a lot. Oh dear. 4 signals of level 3. I don't think I'll be able to get 4 signals on time today. Not with that attitude, actually. Hang on. I could get 4 signals. I have. Wait, how many do I have? 1 or 2? I only have 2. What the heck? That's yeah. I have nothing. Oh no. That is bad. I'm kind of curious what is up there, though. What is up there? Wait. What? No. Get me back up, please. What's up there? Banamba. Roar. Banamba. Banana Reba? This will take a lot of time. Oh wait, I should upgrade my processing. There you go. That did not help. Alright, fine. We're gonna go ahead and turn the thing off. Alright, this place is still in a mess. Coordinates. I shall not looking out for the rest of the stream as I'm doing other thingamabobbities. Okay. You shall do other thingamabobbities while you lurk. I'ma suffer. You went away to grab some snacks. Grab some snacks. Smile. 4 3 2 1. Should be done soon. Awesome. Sweet. Damn it, no. Frickin'. Good. We got the 100. Oh wait, I do want to listen to this. Uh. Um. Alright, that'll be enough. In the box you go. Wait, do I only have one? Uh oh. That's not good, actually. Creepy sounding, though. Really eerie and, creepy. Eerie, creepy, black hole. Really eerie. I don't like it. Why? Why it's so scary sometimes? What the fish? Hey, what? Okay, got another 100 on it. Why black holes tend to be so creepy? Anyways. Okay, where's my sponge? I need my sponge. Can I have a sponge? Thank you. It is about time we start cleaning up our mess. Like, make the place look nice, squeaky clean. Well, we can't really make it squeaky clean. We can just make it clean as possible, as much as we can. and I think a water pressure might help. The thing that pushes out the water. Yes. All right. First things first, though. I get my item box. Get this thing out. Because I'm gonna need to sell some stuff as well. I'll put the drive away. I'll put the sponge aside. Use everything. Wait, what is that? That's flesh gib. Yep. Now, I shall put you actually right in the corner, right here. Awesome. Let's bring the item box down. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Hi, Carl. Hi, Phantom. Hi, Egret. Hello. Hi. Phantom has gone away to do some IRL stuff at the moment, but they're here. I know they are. Rock organic. No. Them. All right. We're currently cleaning up the base because I would love to live in a clean place instead of in a mess, because this place is in a complete utter mess. Damn it, no space. Full piece. And I think having a clean place really brings this place alive. I could also just throw them all in here. Wait, did I leave you guys? No, you did not. Well, all right, sure, why not? I might as well just put some in here actually, so I have more fuel. But anyways, hello Egret. How are you doing today? Are you doing good? Is life treating you well? I should have asked that first, because I tend to forget most of the time to ask. But I hope you're doing fine though. Wait, I maybe need that metal scrap though. Maybe someday I'll need it. Ooh, electronic scrap. Yoink. Here. Wood stuff goes in here. Rubber trash also goes in here. Then we have gold piece. I'm doing alright, just had no rain today. Oh, lucky you. We had like a severe rain like 2 days ago. I'm saying severe because it was genuinely unpredictable. It was really unpredictable whenever we're gonna have a rain or not. Like an hour of rain just passed, and then like it's like gonna be like 30 minutes of moment of calm, like no rain, and then a few minutes earlier it's raining again. Oh god, no, stop. No, not the noise. Yes, good. It was just 2 days ago was really confusing, and then we Rain weird, I guess. Or maybe it's just the climates in Latvia that's just being weird and odd and weird. Mostly weird. Rock. The rock should be able to withstand an immense amount of heat, right? Right. Did you have an umbrella? No. Who needs umbrellas? I definitely didn't need one. I just went there. Okay, at first hand, I did go there, not expecting that it's gonna be raining. Well, at first, it was raining when I went to my part-time work. It was raining like nuts, crazy even. Then, when I left, which was like about an hour later, it stopped raining. In other words, that's how unpredictable the rains are in here. Just a mess, unpredictable mess. You'll never know if it's going to rain or not. Right. I should probably wait. I have trash bags. I can put in the trash bags in there. Okay, it's full. It was. Make sure you have an umbrella next time. I don't need an umbrella. I'll be fine. I'll be absolutely fine, actually. Even with umbrella or without umbrella, I'm still fine as is. It was just a really amazing time to just. Where's it going? Please tell me it's going there. It is going there. What the hell? No, I don't want that garbage bin here. Out. Right. But it was a funky time, and it was a great time to just have like massive amounts of rain. My PNG tuber is still lagging like heck. My god. Right, so this is signal 2. Now we can get the crack on for signal 3. Let's now get ourselves a signal 4. Ah, there's one. Yes! Success! Before I do, let's do satellite calibrate all. Tango's not responding. Oh no. I don't like this. I don't like that. I genuinely don't like that. What server is gonna need to be fixed? SCR. Just Tango? Sure, but I can just go ahead and fix Tango. Where's Tango again? Tango is okay. Oh, it's far. Damn it. It's far end of the map. Okay, fine. Fine, I'll go there. Do I have the fuel? I barely have the fuel. I just need enough fuel to go back and forth. Ah, shit. So you own an umbrella. Apologies, I just love animals and rain gear on your umbrellas. No. I don't have an umbrella. I just don't need it. I just don't see the use for the umbrella. But, yeah, I just don't need the use of the umbrella because I'm able to withstand this immense amount of rain, and it's normal for me. It's normal whenever it's raining, and I can just survive without an umbrella or not. I just love the rain, and I just don't need any rain gear. But to each of their own. Everyone has their own form of likes and such. Alright. That's all the gas. Let's just set it to burn. Now we let it burn. We let it burn. Fix ATV. I do need to fix that ATV though. Before I go anywhere. I'll when I go to Tango, I'll try my best to be really careful when going there. Besides, just a single. Nope, not that way. Up, it jumped. Okay. The frequencies seem to be a little bit crazy in these. Good enough. We'll now try to find the polarity. Shit. Carefully. Much better. All right, awesome. This is filtering. What time is it right now? It is 6 o'clock. It's 6 p.m. in the game. All right, so I have time. As we... Did I just hear a scream? I felt like I heard a scream. Weird. I might be hearing things. Okay. Or maybe I'm just a little bit paranoid whenever I'm exploring out in the fields. Just a tiny wee bit paranoid of what would come next and all. Alright, do tango. Oh, no. What? God damn it! I said to myself, I'll be careful. God damn it. Alright, go. I try my best to be careful when driving on an ATV, but... Wah! Anyway. Alright. Yeah, no, I'm just being paranoid at this point. I'm just being really fucking paranoid at this point. Okay. Let's go ahead. Extango. What? Oh. Yippee! We got it. Alright, let's get out of here. Now we go back. Damn it. Oh wait, I forgot to ping back Alpha so I can go back. And Bob! Hi Bob! 15 months! And 14-month streak! Hot damn, that's a long time. That's a very long time. How you doing, Bob? Good evening, Wolf. How you been? I been... Smile. Doing stuff. 12 months, that's a full year, actually. Damn. Oh, wait. That's, you resubscribed for 12 months. But 15 months. That's still a year, though. That's a quarter and a year. I had to be having a wonderful day. As of recently, like... No, okay, so about an hour and a half ago, I just woke up. I ate breakfast. That's it. Now I'm here streaming being a goob. No, please, no, no. Spent the day at Supernova with friends. Was great and managed to not buy too much. Yippee! Financial saving financially. Yippee! Oh my god, I hate driving in this game so much. Wow. Wow. I also hope I don't encounter some funky creatures in the night as well. I mean it literally. Oh god. Oh hey, backflip. Nice. That's a front flip. Yo! I may be the world's terrible driver of the ATVs, but goddamn. I know how to flip my own ATVs. Wee! I love this game sometimes. This game is weird and I freaking love it. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? A server is down? I just fixed one. Please be an alpha server. I hope it's an alpha server. I.e. the base server. Please. Yes. Okay, thank god. I was getting worried that it might have not been the base server. That's 13, that's 0, and that's 2. Cool. Oh my god. Alright, so we downloaded this, we finished this, no, wait, stop, go, yes. I already don't like that, but I'll save it just in case. Alright, I need one more drive to be dealt with. I just need one more drive. So I think I can try to rest until I get like 45 stamina. Oh, this place is still in a mess. Alright. It is. I think it should be possible to also bunny hop in this game as well. It's just not as well as I would hope for. There. It's still oh no, wait, it's filtering. Okay, I already finished level 1, so package received. Yippee! What is it? Okay, so coordinates, playing, and downloading. We'll turn these off to hopefully put more focus on this. Hopefully. Oh, it's going way faster. Oh my god, that was a good play. It's so faster. Whoa. Wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. It's going way faster than I anticipated. Wow, that's actually good. That's actually really good. I could also turn off utilities, but yeah, those are really important for me. I need to see things. Alright, let's turn on playing. Just so I can see it. Good enough. It's someone walking. Right. Put this in, then put this paper sheet. Where did it go? Here. Box. Here. Hold the box. Now we take if the book's away. And we send it away. And now we sleep in the game. And see the big payoff, hopefully. Setting things like when you like, it takes about an in-game hour to finish this, I think. For the drone to pick it up and then take it away. I hope it's not too late. I should have had a clock with me this entire time. If I don't have a clock with me, then fuck. Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. It should be fine. I hope it'll be fine and it receives on time. What time? How much far is it? I think I did it. I think I've done it. I got it. Please, pretty please. Please, please. I beg of thee, please. Please, please. Yes. Damn it! No. But hash codes are not complete. Please complete the task. Oh, damn it! No. What? Whatever. Fine. Whatever. Portable pressure. 500 for a portable pressure washer. I could get that, but I would need to put more effort on it. It's also a bit way too late for it. No. Oh well. Oh well. Maybe another time. I'll get it. I'll get it. Oh, darn it. Dang nabbit. I'm gonna need to increase in transformer stability then. Well, it is what it is. I'll probably get something else like a hook. A hook to climb things, I think. Does it allow me to climb some things? I think it does allow me to climb some things. What else? What else? What else? What else? There should be a hacksaw. 300. Oh, I could have gotten that as well. Damn. I didn't. Unfortunate. God damn it. Which one? That one. Oh, that's 12. Okay. I just... hard to figure out. Yes. What else? What else would I need? I would need item boxes and garbage roll bags. Give me 4 of them. Then I only have 8 to spare, so I think I could get like additional. Wait. I'll order a single drive and a drive box, because I will need a drive box eventually soon. Now, I shall collect some drives. Yeah, I'm actually, this is my last drive box. I think it's a good call that I did request for an, for other dry box. If I ran out of them, then I wouldn't be able to turn anything in. The only way I would be able to get money is just repairing servers. You failed the report, Dr. Kell. God damn it. Right, and check the satellite, then make a report of India Echo Oscar Delta. Inendo. Report. There. Also grab a crowbar. Right. Let us see my stuff. The hook. Oh, that's a Molotov cocktail. What the heck? What? Whoa. Well. Ow. Okay, no. I definitely went through this. What the heck? It's... Okay, hang on. Oh, I can climb up, though. Oh. Okay. God, my poor PNG tuber is lagging. Nar. What the hell did... What the fuck? What? I forgot how much this mess was. Oh my god. I mean, MRE for days, though, I guess? Also, Molotov cocktail, that's interesting. Arson, my beloved, yes. Not enough space to collect. Oh, that's a human bone. Okay. Right. Good thing that MREs barely even expired, right? Holy shit, dude. That is, like, a lot of food. That's a hell of a lot of pile of food. My god. Genuinely, my god. I'll just... 11... Oh. 24:11. Taking note for whoever reading this, I saw that one of the figures standing next to the concrete pole could not get a good look. My eyes were blurry from the lack of sleep. Maybe hallucination, who knows? Keep your eyes on this. Update! 8:40. Came out investigating the place. Saw footprints at the exact same place where the figure was last night. Update! Oh, it's 5 p.m. 5 p.m. 09. I do not feel safe here. I want to leave. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Or I'm happy for you. I don't know. Oh well. Poor buddy. No. There's no way for me to, like, actually scrap it and then turn it into, like, I don't know. Wait, what did it say? Tools to break the boxes with. Oh, those are rocks. Yeah, I'll just put all the paper sheets down here, actually. Okay, cool. Yo, that's planet Earth. What the heck? What the heck? That's a planet Earth? Okay, so I won't be able to do some bit of a base cleaning a little bit properly yet, but I will get to it really, really soon. I just need the monies. I just need the money so bad. I didn't order a item box though. Yeah, I did. Oh my god. Yoink. There we go. Right, let's see. Wait, I have a lead pipe. Yo, war. I have a lead pipe now? Sick. Meow. Meow. Hi, Zuki. Meow. Put down this MRE, put down these MREs. Meow. Hi. Hi. Oh my god. Hi, hi, hi. I have a Molotov cocktail. Wee, wee, wee. Wee, wee, wee. Wait, okay, I don't want to throw this Molotov cocktail. I want to keep this somewhere safe so it doesn't obliterate. Wee, wee, wee. Wee, wee, wee. I want to keep this. I want to safe keep this Molotov cocktail so it doesn't go away. Please.
Meow.
Meow. Meow. Meow. Right. Wait, no, I need that hook though. I'll need that hook. But anyways, hi Zuki! Hi! I love the human meow. That's me! That was actually me that said meow. I do want I hate to be honest, I do want like meow. I do want that my friends just casually meow for the streamer bot, because believe me, it's funny. The more friends I get to do it, the more funny it is. So, you know, those who are watching, send me your voice samples saying meow. I will actually add that to the streamer bot. Genuinely. No questions. I'll add that in. Just yes. Send your meows. That felt appropriate to say, right? Send your meows. God damn it. Even with Latvian, I struggle to speak it. Not with Latin, but even with English, I just sucked speaking it. Right, this trash bin goes in the incinerator. We ain't needing that. I ain't needing that. And we set it to blazes. Smile. Oh. Wow. Right. Did you just trash the trash bin? Yes. I incinerated? I put it in an incinerator and then just burned it. Yes. Yes, I did. Smile. Welcome to Voices of the Void. Anything that happens is funky. Now, planet. Yes, it is indeed a planet. It looks like planet Earth, though. Right. We're smile. We're not questioning it. Smile. I can... Actually, I can put more trash bins in there. Because trash bins don't provide me anything. They just allow me for clearer storage for trash only. But I want to sell the trash. Which gives me money. As weird as it may sound, yes, selling trash in this game gives me money. This isn't trash. This is my stuff, though. Oh, lead pipe. Anyways, garbage. Why am I carrying it? There you go. Excellent. Now, crowbar. What is that? That's paper. I'll take that. I think the bigger mess is also in here. Yep, that's the biggest mess. That's a way bigger mess there. These would individually take me 100 hits to break them. Oh, even the bathroom's in a dirty mess. Ugh. Wash your filthy hands. I'll clean that later. Not now, obviously, but just a little bit later. Banana. I've been banana slipped. Yes, you can also order a banana and then you can just slip on a banana. It's the banana gods trying to speak with you, you know? The banana gods want to be pleased with you getting slipped by a banana. Right, what is this? What the heck is this? This looks like a spaceship. War! This is a spaceship? This is a genuine spaceship, though. It's object. A spaceship. Okay. Space. Wait. Polarity? It also just finished the filtering as well. Okay. Let's hear what this planet Earth have to say. Nothing. What? Or no. It has nothing on it. I'm sad. Maybe the stats should have something. Oh my god, that's a lot. Right, so I think it was Earth? Earth. Ha. None. Oh, fiddlesticks. What now? Where would be the Earth? Earth. This is Earth. I mean, the fact that it's playing nothing, I guess it makes sense. Anyways. Oh, fiddlesticks. What now? I am interested of this object. We do need to calibrate our satellites, though. Let's see, cal. All. All servers are fine. Delta has zero thing. Phantom sent a t-shirt. Phantom DM'd me a t-shirt. It's not my fault that you thought I was normal. That's on you. I want that now. It's not my fault that you thought I was normal. That's on you. I want that. I definitely want that now. Oh, damn it. The world is a crazy place. And unfortunately, we all live in it. It's not unfortunately though, it's what I expected. Wait, I need actually need to okay, I'll put down my crew bar. I'll go get the MREs that are in here. Food. Not enough space. What? What the? Oh, stop. Okay, good. I can finally move. Whee! You seen this? Got the dragon autism. Oh my! I got the dragon autism. I would definitely wear that, not gonna lie. I would definitely wear that. Oh my god, that's a genuine spaceship though. Or maybe... Wait! Wait! Oh, I hate to admit. That looks like to be... That... I think. Me thinks, okay? I think this could be like Smash Bros. The Smash Bros. Arena. I think. Me thinks it could be this. How much far is it? Oh, it's 90% done. Yeah. I think it could be that Smash Bros. Arena where you... Yes. Anyways, I have 13 MREs. What the hell am I gonna do with those? I mean, it is a lot of food, nonetheless. Like, is that a final destination? Oh, no, only no items. Only no items, though, which is such. Oh, wait, I still have one more dry box. I mean, it is interesting, though. Give it back. Grab. Yoink. We're both foxes, so we'd fit the name of fox, unfortunately. No! Oh, I'm sad. They did not include the dragon wolf in there. Oh my god, that's genuine spaceship. Good news, anyone? We'll need to figure this out what the heck it means. I don't feel so good. Ow. What the heck? Is something... cool stuff happening at last? I think so. Oh, I don't like that. I just took some damage. I'm gonna go ahead and save just in case. I think... Oh, no, I know why I took damage. Banana. The banana might have been old. Oh, well. Oh, well. I'm not hungry. Right, we need to... Wait, is there a freaking drive in here? There's a drive inside? Oh, this is moldy. Why is the organic trash in there? I have no idea. Let's put the... No. No. There. My god. Fine, we'll be putting them in one by one. Oh, jeez. There's plenty of food, though. I'm sure it's not moldy or anything. I hope. And I hope it doesn't bug out the fridge as well. Because this is a lot of MRE, and I could live on for days. Normally, with this. Which is also more surprising, because they don't even expire. I'm gonna... I can't even eat a potato. I don't want to eat that. Yeah, because it's old. Wait. The incinerator is still running. Right? Yeah, it's still running. I need to turn it off just so I can conserve power for the transformers. I actually did not check the power for my transformers. Let me go ahead and check that. TR check. We're fine, except for Transformer 2. This one's been taking quite a beating. Right. Now we shall wait. We shall wait until we get the funny spaceship done, I think. Funny spaceship signal. Damn it. Because that spaceship, really funky. We love it. We love to see it. Or at least I love to see it. I love to see a funky spaceship. Oh, you have signal. Boop. Oh. Meow. Oh, my nose. My nose feels weird. Why am I not yapping? I'm using my headset's mic so I can yap, but it sometimes just does the tendency of like not detecting it. Oh well, I hopefully fixed it. Meow leaderboard. Smile. We do have indeed a lot of meows. SMH Call Explorer cheating? Yeah, no, they've been they're known to be cheating for some time. Anyways, spaceship. Ow. The bat car still isn't working? Okay. I may need to check on that someday again. Unless it's... No, OBS is fine. OBS is fine. But it's not doing the headpads? There. You got your headpads. There. Anyway. What would I need? What did I need again? Daily task. 4 signals of level 3. We only got 2 of them inside. Anyways, hi Lauro. Hi. Hi. How you doing? Shit. Object cannot be held. I'm also getting EP in this game. Hi. Get meowed at. I'm going to meow at you. I'm going to meow at you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Get meowed at. I'm also gonna meow at Zuki. I have to. Why? Yes. Meow. The dragon meow. That was a dragon meow. Fantastic. Close enough? Yeah, that's close enough. This should be fine. This is fine. Right. Let's go ahead and go find some stuff. We must now... Okay, Okay, let's start. SV target India. Let's go get some codes. Let's go get some hash codes before I go on break. I won't... This needs fuel, though. I'll need a bit of fuel before I actually decide to wander off into the unknown. Oh my god, even fishing is lagging. Hang on a second. So... I'm gonna turn down the screen resolution a bit. Textures, effects, shading. Actually, no, not shading. Upscale. Not sure what tone mapper does. Apply. Okay. Should be a bit smoother now. Yeah, it's a little bit smoother. It's smoother than before. I think that's what matters the most. Let's go. Oh, right, I forgot about these things as well. In you go. Thank you, Saribot. There is no such thing as free stuff. Haha. Go get them. Go get yourself. Lamau. Anyways. Wait. What was it? Anyways. Good bot. Good bot. Anyways. Onwards! Onwards! Ooh, mushroom. Mushroom. Anyways, onwards! Into the unknown! Into India! The satellite, not the country. There it is! That's India. Mushroom! Mushroom! I can't eat it though, it's poisonous. The mushroom is poisonous. I can't do anything about it. SV hash. Okay, so... okay, so just to be sure I got this right. Yes, I got it right. Okay, now we need SV target echo. Did it find echo? It find echo. Damn it. I got out! I still got out. That's good. That's what matters. Yippee! Whee! Right. We shall go and make a turn here. Oh, my phone's ringing. Hang on a second. Okay. I just got a phone call from my mom. I'll be going away later. Not now, obviously. I think I'm able to push out like... I'm able to push out like 2-hour stream, so we should be fine. I.e., they said they'll be here in like... grandparents will pick me up at 5. They'll take me to a spot where we have the Midsummer's Eve stuff. And then, once that's done, they'll be driving back home, taking me back home as well. So, nifty, I'd say. So I think I just have enough time right now. I have time. I will be able to pull out 2 hours and 30 minutes. Now, echo 044088 DD7. No, wait, Dance Dance Revolution. No. Right. What's the next server? I forgot. Oscar. Target Oscar. Let's go to Oscar. Oh, ad starting 3 minutes. Crap. Crap. Crap, 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 please! Get me up, get me up! No, no, no! Okay. We're fine. We're fine. We're okay. For now. For now, we're fine. I hope I'm fine. It doesn't seem like I'll be fine, but I am fine. Now. Yippee? Yippee? Right, up and we go. This should be Oscar now. Right, so SV hash. Did I pull out paper? Yes. Oscar is 1498801FA9. Convenient. Right, now, SV target Delta. Would I be able to get this on time before the before ads start? I think I will. I think I will actually. Mayhaps. Perhaps. If I don't run into water, please, no. We're fine. We're fine. There's a bridge. We'll cross the bridge. This is Delta? This looks like to be Delta. Hello. Delta? Yes, Delta. Alright, we got all the hash codes. Now I shall be going on break. I'm hoping the words on stream is gonna be working again. It should. A7345B2. Now to check. This is India, so 80007. Okay. Oscar. No, wait, that's Echo. Yep. Oscar is this. Slowly drifting to sleep. Delta is that. Awesome. Right. Now my character definitely needs some sleep before he passes out. Or before insomnia comes in and gets me. Right. Dashing through the park. No. Why? Why do you do this game? Dashing through the forest. Oh, ads are about to start actually soon. Right. Anyways, ads are about to start. I can't stop them. So every hour we go on break. So remember to snack, stretch, hydrate, go to the bathroom, touch some grass. I'll be back in 5. And go ahead and exercise while I'm gone too. Anyways, words on stream. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Anyways, wee. Hi. Sorry, I was sorry, I was running a little bit late. I was writing an email for one of the teachers, for a thing. But anyways, we're back. We are back for more Voices of the Void. My character is getting tired. Straight from the get-go. My character is about to, like, pass out. Was that a mushroom? Call the late girl. Herder, I'm late, I'm so sorry, okay? A little bit fearful that my character is actually just about to pass out soon. I'm too tired. Nah, I can't bunny hop. Damn it. Anyways, hello, I'm back. I am back from the breaks. I am now gonna need to sleep in this game. Hongshu. Anyways, I sent the email to the professor that I needed to. Oh. Sometimes feels painful when to just like get the answer from a professor that what is this, yada yada yada, and then I have to just kind of explain. And then they did say what kind of grade I'll be getting. Meow. Dragon meow. You meowed at me. How dare we? Meow. Oh, an MRE. Yes, please. Ow. Anyways. Hi, I'm back. Whoa. Hi. Oh, right. I wanted to ask, how is the quality right now? Like, on stream? How's the quality? Because I looked at Twitch and I'm seeing a bitrate of being like really high. The bitrate is like, it's pretty good. How good? I'm seeing bitrate of like 18,000 kilobytes per second. Like, actually, hang on a second. I'm gonna boot up my own the channel up. Let's see. Let us see how good it is. Location restriction. The quality disabled are not currently supported in your location. It shows 6K. 6K? Oh, 7K. Oh, okay. Either way, it looks great. Good. I just there's just a extra option which is like 2K source. Unfortunately, it is restricted for me to watch, which is I think it's fine. You're still able to watch me in like 1080p, which I'm happy with. But those who get to like watch me in like 2K, great, fantastic. I'm happy for you, but just what? The silly restrictions should not be in place, but like, oh well, it is what it is, and like, I'm fine with it. I'm kind of fine. It's just a bit of a goober idea to just have that restriction up in the first place. But yeah, if it looks good, it's fantastic. Love it. Good to hear. It's just that big bitrate that I'm seeing coming out from Twitch is just enormous, big, much larger than I anticipated, actually. I don't know, but it's big. Suffice to say, it is just big bitrate output. I'm not sure if people who are watching it right now, I'm obviously not sure where you guys are from, but like, okay, you know what? Since the fishing is actually working properly as well, let me reduce the cooldown for it as well. Platforms. Fishing! Let's go fishing! And give it back its original 10-second cooldown. There you go. Meow! 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 Why did I sound like a freaking Risk of Rain Skunk Cat? No. What? Okay, battery. Skunk car. I would imagine how I would look like as a skunk cat. It'd be funny. I'm not sure how funny it would be, but I can only just imagine. I'll put these MREs down, because those are a good source of food, good source of protein. We need them. We need a lot of them. I don't know why I have so many of them. I might as well just make a food pyramid out of this. Can I even make a pyramid out of this? I can. I just require skill. No. No. Actually? Yes. Wait, come on. Put it. Good enough? Yes. Good. Good enough. Right, how we doing? How's this doing? Oh, it's not doing well. Oh, it's... right. It's, filtering right now. Wait, where else can I need the, location, give me... Oh, signal. I missed. No, it's sensor error. Damn it! Frick! Whatever. Okay, down. There should be some down. Down. There's one. Damn it! Invalid object! Wah! Wah! Come on. Raw. I'm gonna raw at you. What? I'm going to raw at you. Rah! Game. Damn it! Oh, is this puny signal here? Yes! Finally! We got it! We got it! Mein Gott. Creepy. Anyways, give me that drive back though. I need that drive. And hook. Yeet. Yes. Yes. I love when you're able to parkour with things, i.e. hook. Yeet. Good enough. Finally. Safe spot, i.e. atop of my base. Boxes! I should probably destroy these boxes so I can get more money out from them as well. Not that it's necessary, but it's nice to have. Burger! Borgie. Got Borgie. Delivery drone access panel. Yes. Borgie. Burger. It has burger. Burger. Right. Frequency. Tune that a bit. We're going the wrong direction. We're seeing climbing and numbers. Nearly. Damn it. Yeah, good enough. This is fine. Now we check the polarity. Close. Can we get 100? Yes, we can. Awesome. Then we need to SD cal all, calibrate all the satellites. Put this lead pipe down. I could put the lead pipe down elsewhere, but bleh. This would be fine. Crowbar is more funky though. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Oh, this one's been idle for a little while. It is 4 o'clock. I can double check. I will actually double check the I'll double check the hash codes actually. I think it's a little bit way too late for that. Yeah, a little bit too late for that. Even though I think I did double check it already, I think it should be fine. It's a rough hat. Okay. What if I just? I found a server called Maxwell though. God damn it! Really? Fine. We'll go fix Victor. Victor! Wah! Rah! Rah! Victor. SMH. Right. Assuming that this is gonna be... Sorry. Right. Get this working. Now we go fix Victor. Whoa, whoa, what? I keep forgetting that Headpats is not working as intended. Why? What's the reason for it though? For not working? Why? 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 Oh well. Oh well. It's... Did it change? No, it's still... I'll check on that later. It was... Wait, hang on. If I just test the trigger, the trigger still works. What the heck? If it's not working, then I don't know what's causing it. I'll probably I'll just bother Phantom about it. Well, just not now. Someday. Later. Error. Save error. No. Well, we don't have paranoia, so that's a good sign, right? Right. Wait, no. Forwards! Damn it! Go forwards! I need to reach Victor. Please. I need to reach Victor. God damn it, that's not how you do it the Victor way. Yeah. Oh. I'm fine. Alright, I'm fine, I'm fine. Careful. Alright, let's go. Victor time, baby. It is time with Victor. Is this... Wait, what Transformer is this? Is this Transformer 1? Yes, Transformer 1. Fuel. No fuel. Transformer 1 is fine. I may need to check on Transformer 2 soon. Damn it! No! Stop! Game! Game! You and your freaking jank! God damn it! Stop! No! Fuck! Why? Why do you keep doing this? Oh wait, I can do the Le Funny Hong Kong though. Anyway, this should be Victor? Yes, this is Victor. We need to fix Victor. Then we finish this chicken burger. Then we go back to base. Right. 7, 1, 5, 2, 3, 7, 7, 0. Oh! That was supposed to be 9. Damn it. Okay. 16, 8, 5, 6, 8, 8, 1, 2. Good. No! Don't close it on me. Actually, I should... I'm actually gonna I'm gonna quickly put in a reminder for the, Pat Carl. In front, currently broken, B:, because it is currently just broken at the moment, and I don't know what's causing it to be broken. Wah! I'll try to figure it out, like, next time. Next time when I stream. Dashing through the gravel. Then I'm going, of course, into the forest. I don't know where I'm going. I think I'm now lost. I'm genuinely lost. Oh wait, no I'm not. I found a way back. Flip. Fuck. Wait, no. It's fine. It's just a little bit hurt. It's fine. It is... the ATV's fine. We don't need to worry about it yet, I think. Right, we're fine. We're fine. We're okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're good. I will take this trash bag though. This roll of bags. I'll collect these trashes that's out here right now. Alright, Matt. Okay, it's progress towards cleaning up stuff though. So far so good. Wait. Oh, wait, I didn't need it. Oh, there's that piece of paper. I was... not enough space. I just need to put in one more... Oh, it's still denoising. We still have time, so that's pretty good. By the time I get a pressure washer, I think I'll be able to finally start having clean stuff. Right now. What the heck was that noise? All right, this trash can. I'm gonna throw it in the incinerator again. We don't need it. Or at least I don't need it yet. Or just I don't need it at all. Okay, anyways. Oh, it's finished. Awesome. Awesome possum. Alright, let's hear it. What kind of funky noises it has to make? Oh. Nothing special. Anyways. Now we send it away. Call. Send it away. Ow. Do you have something underneath you? No. Why are you making strange noises, though? Weird. Right. Anyways, I hope this report is good enough. Hopefully. Sensor error. Damn it. Anywhere else I could look around for, maybe? Or maybe... No, I should actually get my character some sleep as well. That's blood. Battery... another drive that I will just grab. That's also blood. Yeah, I definitely need a pressure washer at this point. Which... hopefully soon. Hopefully I'm getting it really soon. Hey. There we go. We got the signal. We got the signal? Did it finish rotating? No, it's still rotating. I can still see it. I can still see through it, through the, like, nastiness of the glass and shit. Wait, what the f... Oh, it's a piece of paper. Gimme. Right, out of box, paper. Let me I'm actually gonna quickly sleep so I can see if I actually done the thing. If I haven't, then sad. If I did, then yippee. 381. That's already a good sign. Please be good. I beg. Yes! We got it! We got it! Awesome. This data will be very helpful in our research. Oh, I bet it will. Awesome, possum. We got it. We have gotten it. Yippee! Nope, no, too much. Slowly. Slowly. Yes, good. Okay, now polarity. The polarity does shift up and down, up and down. Okay, we got 381. That's we're getting close to 500. Cause I really need that pressure washer like so bad right now. You, shush. Wait, electronic scrap. I can actually use this electronic trash. Hang on a second. Hang on. I'm gonna go ahead and make some scrap with this. So. Does it actually have something underneath it? Oh yeah, it does. What the heck? It had this broken piece of RAM like down there. What the heck? Okay. I mean, convenient, I suppose. Electronic scrap. Sweet. The crafting recipe added to the list. Yes. Jillik. Wah! Zuki! The Carl pad is broken. Ow! Meow. Fine. Fine. Here. You may have a pad. It's. Meh. I'm gonna bat you aggressively, like wah. Oh well. I still need to find a way to just fix it, but at the same time I just cannot be bothered. Meow. Wait, no, I need that electronic trash. Oh, I just don't have enough space though. Okay, whatever. That's electronic trash. Another electronic trash. And now we just take this box away. Meow. Meow. Anyway, send it away, Kronk. No, wait, pull the lever. Push the button, Kronk? Pull the lever, Kronk! That's better. Right. No, that's... I don't want to sit in a chair. Yes. Output object. I'm the trash goblin, I collect the trash. Right, and now we eat in the game. What? 2? Oh, we're collecting burgers. 3. Okay. Four. 5. 6. I don't like that theory noise whatsoever. 7. 8 burgers? Nightmare. I got like 8 burgers from this? Nine. 10. Ow. I can't pause, and I can't do the head pat at the moment, so you'll need to wait out for a little while. Go! Yippee! I got an achievement! I got an achievement, baby! Good. Hi, hi, Kumu. I guess you completed a burger dream. I did. Silly. It's silly. Yes. Billy task. There is a task for you today. Juliet, India, Mike, and Delta. And 100 sleep and food. Yeah, I think that's really good. Holy fish. So basically, I'm energized. The drone has not even completed the freaking task. Dang it. Dang it, drone. Anyways, store. Item box. Now I need to wait. I can't sleep to just pass time. I'm forced to freaking wait. Whoa. 600? Alright, you know what time it is? Portable pressure washer. Oh, I need dry boxes as well. You should clean your front window. I should. It's dirty as fuck. I know. That's why I'm getting the pressure washer for that reason. I'm getting a pressure washer for that sole reason. It's so dirty. It's disgusting. We hate it. It's fucking horrendous. That's why I propose a solution. Pressure washer. Why is some of the meat's missing? Oh well, it should be fine. Don't worry. I'll I'll be able to get it nice and tidy, clean as fuck. Okay. Once I get the pressure washer first. But really, I'll just get majority of things just washed after I get the things, you know. Plus, this place looks fucking a freaking mess. Can't believe you almost fully cleaned your base. Almost. There's something outside. I have a bad feeling about this. There is something outside. This place shouldn't be this clean. There is something outside. Where the hell did I leave my hook? Oh god. What's outside? I don't know. I'm having paranoia and then, like, I'm thinking what is outside. Must be Santa. I don't think it's Santa. The bathroom's still a freaking mess. It's almost Christmas. Yo, is it almost Christmas? Really? Norway? Yo, you're right, it is almost Christmas! But no, seriously, where the heck is my hook? I swear I had it here, but now it's like gone? Oh no, please don't tell me I actually accidentally sold it. What the fuck? What? Okay, my paranoia now just ended? This place is a mess, of course. Battery. I think it was a good call that I just locked my front door and just closed my garage as well. Must have been my imagination. Must have been my imagination. Really? No, you'd be right. It must have been my imagination. I might have been just going fucking crazy. You can get on top of the roof through your balcony. I know that. It just. Oh, this battery's dead, so I'm gonna collect it and put it in a trash pile. I think that would explain how I lost my hook as well. I sold it off with other junk. Oh well. Right. So this and this and this. That and that and that. That. Wait a minute. Wait. I just realized something. I have a camera right here, actually. Might as well just activate it. I only just realized that. My god. Cameras. It's a camera nonetheless, but still. A shitty one, but camera. A camera is a camera. Entrance cam. I'll just name it entrance. It should be fine, right? Right. First things first is I need to check the transformer levels as well. I see. So I think I'll just go to transformer 2 real quick before it's too late. Before it's actually too late, too bad. Wait, was that a signal? That's a signal right there. We got it. My pressure washer! Yippee! Okay, no, that's just a constant stream of water just outside. Alright, let's go. Oh, damn it. Let's go fix the Transformer 2, and then we can start cleaning with the pressure washer a bit. What the hell? Eh, whatever. It's fine. Okay. Satellites have... I thought someone was actually moving inside my house. I thought someone was actually moving inside my house for a bit. No, it's just the dryer just doing its thing. Dryer drying the dry stuff. Yes. Right, Transformer 2. Here. I think next time when I stream Voices of Void, I'm gonna be probably cleaning up the Transformers. Because this is also a mess, man. Like a massive, massive mess. Kinda dislike it. Fuck. Damn it! Ah! Yeah, so it's just a massive mess that I'll need to clean up. That will come for another time, though. Definitely not today. I'll deal with the Transformers next stream. I'm pretty sure I can get Transformer 1 and 2 done simultaneously in, like... I think in a single stream. Transformer 3 is gonna take, like, multiple streams to do... Not multiple streams, it's just gonna take me, like, an approximate 3 hours to actually clean that mess up. While the base is nice and tidy, Transformers... no. They're not in good shape. They still work, but it's just they're freaking messy as well. In a bigger mess than bigger mess than the bases, which is nice so far. Okay. Anyway, we're back in here. We're back to base. Yippee! Actually, gonna grab these MREs as well, and this drive, and this lead pipe, and this oh, that battery should have been sold off actually. Oh well. Sponge. I think I can just collect the sponge and this hammer. Okay, there's... Wait, what is that? Oh, that's the server protection kit. I'll take it. There. Okay, what do we got? We got an asteroid. Oh, we already have an asteroid saved in, so let me just start formatting it. Well, not formatting it, just you know, having it cleaned. Then we... There we go. Increase the polarity. Oh, that's a bit too much. Much better. Right. This should get off. Yes, it does. And now... This will take a bit of time, but at least it's not going to take forever with the sponge. And don't worry, I'll get the sides as well, but it's just the main part. The main thing needs to be cleaned up first. It's just... yeah, right. Okay, there's still some spots that need to be cleaned as well. It's definitely gonna leave up some spots, but... oh, now that's a lot better to just see. The difference is definitely day and night. Ah, so shiny. Mmm! Shiny! At best, I think I can get the, like, those tough spots out of the way, but just using a sponge. This is genuinely makes cleaning so much easier now. Love it. Love it! On this part too, I should clean that part too. There you go. Shit. Much better. Much better. Yeah, the difference is definitely day and night for this. Holy crap. There's no way I'm actually cleaning this with a sponge. Genuinely no way. The water pressure just makes it easier. Worth the investment, I'd say. Really worth the investment. Right. Damn it. Okay. Wait, actually, give me a sponge right now. I would love to have a sponge right now. Give me. Let's see. Yeah, we get those tough spots out. I don't know why. Come on. Is it? It's not removing it. What? Hang on. That's better. Oh. Beautiful, actually. So beautiful. Genuinely now makes it a lot better to see through this than, yeah, I'm still cleaning these up, though. Denoising? Cool, cool. Okay. So far, so good. We're getting them windows cleans, finally. Damn it. I'm out. This will definitely take a bit of time to actually also just finish this up as well, but you know what? I'm fine with it. I'm happy with it. It's in a while. Oh. Oh. Okay. I think it just finished. Yeah, it just finished. Awesome. Let's hit it. Yeah, let's hit it. Just some basic asteroid, in my opinion. Oh well. Right, another box. And you go. How much did I need of these, by the way? 3 signals of level 3. Okay, so 3 signals is not that bad. We can tolerate that. Increase that download speed as well. Get that better Starlink subscription in a game. Okay, cool. Now, yeah. Wait, no. Yeah, that's better. Wait, no, there's still a spot here. I still see that spot. Spotless. Perfect. Perfect. Now the main thing. The big main window. Okay, so far so good. We're getting there. We're just getting there with the cleaning process as well. It's not currently not pretty, but it is doing the job. Damn it. And it does run out of water rather quickly as well. It is a portable pressure washer after all. Its capacity. Out. Alright, wait, did it finish downloading? Yeah, it did. Start exporting. Find another signal. And then we need to... Once I finish up with the windows, I can go out look for hash codes again. Ah, there's one, down here. Ta-da! Awesome. Oh, I'm already at max capacity. Okay, okay. Nope. Nothing. Okay. Go ahead and collect. One of the servers are down. Oh, it's this server. Okay, cool. It's just that. 1 4 0 0 0 9 0 2. Wow, if only that were that easy in real life. No, it's not. Am I missing a spot in here? I did. I missed a spot. Oh well. Oh well. Oh, it looks so much cleaner now. God. We love it. Or at least I love it. That it's so much cleaner. What? Cosmic Ghosts, it froze open before our frenzied eyes. What? I'm stupid, what that mean? And... okay, let's go with a bit of sponge. A little bit of sponge never hurts anyone. At least to get these tough areas out. Okay. So far so good with the window cleaning. It's almost perfect actually. Okay, hang on a second before I do continue. Wait, we got a star? Yo, no way. We found an object. It's a star. Wowee. Right, and then polarity. It's a little bit harder to capture for stars, especially. There you go. Awesome. Okay. Damn it. I'm out. I'm out of water. Better. Crawl the window cleaner. I cleaned my window now. Yippee! That's good. That's good news, actually. Can I clean this? No. Can I not? Okay, yeah, no, I can't. Okay, the best part is the windows are now clean. This place, ugh. Damn it. Mess. You think you can clean the shower? I think, yeah, I think so, yeah. It's just tedious and painful, though. To, like, absolutely clean it. You know, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Also, our ads are about to start in 30 seconds. So, this is gonna be our final ad break for today. By the rest of the day, I'll be gone, so I'm not gonna be streaming in the evening, unfortunately. Stairway, okay. Maybe on Sunday I'll be able to stream? We'll see about... Damn it! We'll see about that. We'll see when the day comes, after all. But for now... It seems like almost the majority of places now. Almost... Okay, yeah, ads are about to start soon, so remember to snack, stretch, hydrate, go to the bathroom, touch some grass. I'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll be going for additional 30 minutes. Alright, see you guys in 5 minutes. Whee! That's it. No more words on stream. No more words on stream today. This is the final break. We are now continuing our Wizards of Void and we're cleaning our base. Finally. But anyways, hello Twitchy Bird. Hi. Welcome in. How you been doing lately? I still need to clean up my base. Mr. Streamer's so mean. I'm so sorry that I'm I'm so mean to you. SMH. I'm so sorry that I'm being so mean to you. That was sarcasm. Anyways, hi. Hi, hello, hi. Welcome aboard. Welcome in. I am this is gonna be the final half an hour. I'll just do a few extra things in here. Like more cleanup. I'm happy that I don't need to clean this window though. Or well, I just can't. I can't clean this window. Not that I would need to clean it. The more important part is I cleaned these big ass window, which is good. So far so good. Not enough space. What do you mean not enough space? What? What the f? Anyways, trash bags. I would need to get this back up. I'm not sure how though. Okay, so this one's semi-clean. I just... Much better. That kills... Well, okay, StreamerBot in general is just not working, I guess? What the hell? That's so weird. You know what, I'll probably try to update the StreamerBot later, after I'm done. Okay, anyways. Here's your thing. Also, fun fact, I can't kill people. As if you clean it up and get some space, you can move it to get to the bottom of the side and pull it back up. Yeah, I could. I could. Soap. I should have not eaten soap, actually. Oh well. I'm glad you have a sad soundbite. Disappointed with other Carls that don't. Smile. I'm never making it. I don't want to. I just don't want it to be locked behind bits. Channel point. That's it. You're done and set. No need to make it behind like some freaking. Oh hey, pay me bits, then you get that soundbite. No. It's not in this household. Not in this household. Streaming is supposed to be a goddamn hobby, not a job. What? I'm certain that people also understand that streaming is just seen as a hobby, but some people also just see it as a job, and like, to each of their own, I guess. Not everyone's gonna have the same view as I will. Well, majority of people. I am saying that majority of people may share the same view as I am, that streaming is seen as a hobby. But some people also just see it as their own work. But then again, to each of their own. I'm not gonna be judging if you stream and it's like your main source of income. I ain't judging. I don't know how people throw money at strippers. Maybe it's best to not ask. I would not compare Twitch to a strip club. So no. Maybe don't make that comparison again, please. Oh well. Oh well. But you're not wrong, but that comparison is just I don't know how else to put it. It's just where as I would put it, but you're not wrong nonetheless. Why do I have two hammers? I don't know. I have two hammers. Wait, it's... I think one of the food has spoiled. Yeah, I'm gonna disable that. Carl, would you like to know about special time of the day in this game? Sure. Yeah, go ahead, tell me. Oh, this one's spoiled. Damn it. Lots of different things happen at 3 in the morning. Okay, noted for the future. Did I put down the bad MRE, by the way? I did. Yeah, that's the bad MRE. Yeesh. Should have kept it in the fridge, actually. And one of the servers went down. Friggin-tastic. Right now. Let's see. Oh, it's this server. Thank God it's just this. 3 5 0 5 3 6 5 7. Awesome. We got the sun. Asteroid noises. The sun is a deadly laser. Not anymore, it's a blanket. How many signals did he ask? 3 of 3. Okay, cool. We can get 3 of 3. Now. Oh, one of them is also bad. What the hell? Yeah, that one's also bad. Damn it! Okay, so food really loves to spoil. But some of this one's also bad. You know what? I think I'll just put the rest of the MREs in a fridge. Because this now just looks like it's some kind of a freaking health hazard. Oh well. We'll just we'll just put it in there. Wait, is this MRE in Polish? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. For all I know, we're in Switzerland, and that's about it. Unless you can confirm it's in Polish. Alright. That in. Running out of space on my fridge. This will actually just last me for like a lot of days in a game. It says... Yeah, no. You're right. It does. It actually does say that. Did you buy these MREs? No! I found them in a vent. I actually found them in a vent. There was just too many of them. I'll just place one in a freezer. No. There. Book. Yes, it is indeed a book. By any means, no, I did not buy them. I actually found them just stored military in English. So okay, so it is the military rations, just in a different language then. Wood pieces, wood pieces, wood pieces. Can't put the object. Not enough space. Not enough space. Alright. Then, right over here. This memory is bad, so we'll just get that out. Ow. What time is it? It is 12 o'clock in this game. We're going through our third signal. We need to get that third signal out of the way and clear. Denoising. Awesome. Where's my pressure washer? There's my pressure washer. Get that pressure washer. Collect. Then... a little bit cleaner. Nice and tidy. Nice and tidy. Just the way I wanted. Smile. What day is it in the game? Friday, 12. 12 for Friday. I'm right here, spending my time cleaning the base. Mushroom. We love to see it. Not enough space. Not enough space. I actually don't have enough space. More rock. Not enough space. Is there? Damn it. Lots of trash. Where's this? Piece of paper. Extra trash. One day will the base be clean. And you will wish you had something to clean up. Yeah. It's what I'm building for, actually. Just to have a really friggin' clean base. And then, like, complain about, like, why is there nothing to clean up except for, like, windows. Did I miss a spot? I did. You missed a spot. I did miss a spot. I fixed it. Yippee. Wait, no, give me that back. No, that's a garbage bag. I need a garbage bag roll. Yes. Wait, how much space? 900 out of the 1,000. Out of I still have like 200 space for it left. So I think what I would do is now go down to the basement. Oh wait, there's 2 item boxes down here. Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. The basement is sort of clean nonetheless. Which is a good sign. Yes, no, this is already a good sign. The base is just mostly clear by now. The basement, that is. Except for this pile of blood, I guess. Anything in here? No. All good. All good in here. Is this empty again? Okay, cool. I will want the hacksaw though. Why hacksaw? You should hit those pipes with a hammer to get even more clean. Now I could. Actually, where's my trusty crowbar? Did I lose my crowbar? I lost my crowbar. Whatever. Fine. Yeah, it's gonna take a little while though. I'm just gonna let it be now. Oh, fuck, it saved. Okay, so there's no turning back now. They're on the cremator just to be safe. It may... I'm a little bit fearful that it may damage this. Just slightly. Oh my god, it's still open. Okay. Well, now you have an indoor swimming pool. Yes, I do. And unfortunately for me, there's actually also, like, no way for me to turn that off, too. So, you know, that kind of really sucks. Okay, I heard a server issue. Hang on. Five 9190350. Damn it. Okay. Hey, the best part is the basement's gonna be clean. Do you have a wrench? Yeah, I do. I should. Okay, so we have a little problem, and, no. No, I don't have a wrench. Should I be concerned? I don't think I can also order a wrench from here now, can I? No. In short, no. Do you fix the oven with it? No. I thought I could use the gas welder to fix it. Though I think I have a little bit bigger issues to deal with, and that would be my basement flooding. Oh, it didn't stop yet. What the hell? It's still going. It's actually still going. Need a wrench screwdriver. I don't know where. I don't remember where you found a wrench. Oh, hey, there's electronic trash here. Oh well. Guess the basement will just flood. Wait, what would happen if I open this to let the water in? Oh my god, it's so slow to even open it up. There you go. Anyways, let's get some sleep in this game. I didn't even go get the satellites dishes too. I think I'll be fine. Ah. It's still flooding. Is it still rising? It doesn't look like it. Is it? No. It stopped rising, actually. It actually stopped rising. Okay. I mean, at least I don't need to worry about the basement anymore. Well, to some extent. Right? Right. Damn it! You open up, please. Thank you. I might have found my wrench by that transformer intersection area, but I don't. But like you said, you don't remember. That's fine. It's also nearly half an hour. What is this Gold Source engine sounds? It's Unreal Engine, actually. It's Unreal. We flooded the basement, and we're just playing Voices in the Void. It's fun. You should try it. Unreal? Yes, Unreal. It's Unreal Engine. It's run in Unreal Engine, but yes. It's free. It's also free, yes. Scarl, stop running into doors. I can't, I'm sorry. At the same time, I also wanted to just end the stream right here, because I need to prepare, you see? I need to prepare to go out soon. Yo. Old PC? Pog. Right, with that said, I'm gonna need to call it end here. It has been 2 hours and 30 minutes. Oh dear. At one point I wanted to see Unreal Engine for development because it can use Python. Yeah. There it is. Right. I'm gonna save and then I'm gonna need to quit out. At this point I might use Unreal or Blender because I like being different. Everyone likes being different. Anyways, I will need to call it quits here, unfortunately. Okay, there's no fishers in line. So, firstly, thank you all for who came by today. Unfortunately, I will not be able to, I will not be available this evening. So, I'm gonna be raiding out to someone who I am following right now. Yeah, let's go ahead right out to Communist Industry, who's currently playing Apex Legends. Oh no, it's Battle Royale. You guys can handle it. Screw it, Source Engine time. Yes, screw it, Source Engine time. Anyways, we're gonna be raiding out the Communist, who's playing Apex Legends. I'm gonna need to head out to prepare to also go further and beyond. Because family tradition and shit like that. Anyways, thank you all for coming by. It's been fun. And I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow or next week. Anyways, bye-bye. Take care.